Play of the game.
Heroes never die.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Enta Bros, we rose up. Enta Bros, we did it. Or at least that's what I wanted to say, because Enta Bros, we lost. We lost for like 11 episodes straight. I don't know how you could be an Enta fan and sit through all 11 episodes and watch his character just get absolutely shafted for 11 episodes straight. So that's right, I jumped ship. That's right, I'm a Toy Bro now. Aniki Bros, Toy Bros, we did it. We actually did it. We rose up. But for Enta Bros, I feel for you. I actually feel for you. He was best boy and he just got absolutely shafted. All right, what did I mean? What do I mean? You might be coming fresh off Sarazanmai episode 11 and you're like, what are you talking about? Enta got his own arc. He did his own thing. Okay, level with me here. Listen to what I'm about to say. Episode 1, Enta has this box. Each character has a box and inside the box is their secret. And this secret kind of pushes their character forward. So for Kazuki, we find out that he's a cross-dresser and inside the box is his cross-dressing tool. Toy killed a man. Toy, he has canonically within the lore of Sarazanmai, he has waterboarded someone. He has sold drugs to the community.
I am declaring war on anybody who sells drugs in our community.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
And he has killed someone. But Enta, what was inside his box? Inside his box was the Misanga, right? And the Misanga represented Enta's relationship with Kazuki and how when Kazuki left soccer, he held on to the Misanga. He wanted to become the Golden Kombi with Kazuki again. And it all made sense. But then later down in the plot, we find out that that specific Misanga was actually given to Kazuki by Toy. That's right, the Misanga that represented Enta and Kazuki's relationship also represented Kazuki and Toy's relationship. This is like White Album levels of NTR going on right now. Enta deserved way better than what he got. If we look at the whole series, the first half follows Kazuki, 2 episodes in the middle focus on Enta, and then the last few episodes focus on Toy. I don't know why Enta is there at all. The story could literally have taken Enta out of it completely, and it would have been completely the same. For example, when the plates get stolen, why did Enta steal the plates of hope in the first place? Yes, I know he was jealous of Toy and Kazuki's relationship. Yes, I see that's why he stole the plates, but he knows, right? Enta knows that whenever they fight a Kappa zombie, their secrets are shared amongst each other. So how does he not realize that him stealing the plates wouldn't have been found out? So is Enta playing like 4D chess? Did he know that they would find out that he stole the plates? Did he do this on purpose so that Toy's Aniki would die? Is that what's going on? Because I actually have no idea. You know, I actually thought Enta was going to be a pivotal character to the story because episode 2, we see that Enta's grandma says Sarazanmai and talks about being connected. And his grandma is seen with Reo and Mambu. That's right, Enta's grandma is seen with Reo and Mambu, and she talks about Sarazanmai in episode 1. So I thought Enta was going to be a pivotal character to the plot, but he just gets shafted in like every way possible. How is this happening, bros? How is this happening? Also, I was hoping throughout the last few episodes that Kazuki and Enta would talk about the relationship, and if Kazuki doesn't like him, just straight up say, hey Enta, I know we're friends. Let's just keep things that way, okay? Like I'm not gay. But maybe I'm gay for Toy, but I'm not gay for you. Like that's just how it works. And I would have been okay with that, but they literally never addressed the relationship again. It's only addressed in one sentence at the end of episode 9 when Enta gets taken over by the otter and the otter says, oh man, I can give you a better physical relationship than you could ever have with the real Kazuki. And then Enta just kind of throws him off and says, no, I want the friendship relationship with Kazuki. And I was just thinking, okay, so when did this transition happen? When did you go from wanting to be best friends to wanting to bang Kazuki to wanting to be best friends again? Because if we think about it, what happened before this? Enta stole the dishes of hope because he was jealous between Kazuki and Toy's relationship. Okay, he stole the dishes of hope and then he took a bullet for Kazuki, and then suddenly because of those two things, he suddenly wants to maintain his previous relationship with Kazuki. What part of those two things made him want to keep his old relationship? I don't get what those two scenes did that changed him into wanting his old relationship. Did almost dying make him realize, yeah, I took a bullet for him, but you know what? I prefer our old relationship.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
In fact, I thought Kazuki was going to tell Enta his feelings over Enta's deathbed or something. Like, he would cry over Enta's death, and he would be like, oh no, Enta, I feel for you, I actually loved you this whole time. And then Enta would overhear it in Kappa form, and then they would come together and make up for having Enta stealing the dishes of hope. Because normally when someone gets shot and they're in a coma, there isn't really any time for them to go through any real character development. Normally it's the people that are mourning the death or mourning the guy that's in the coma who feel responsible for Enta's death, or who feel responsible for Enta getting shot. They're gonna go through the real character development. And Kazuki mourns Enta for sure, but he doesn't really go through any real character development. Enta goes through the character development. Despite stealing the dishes of hope and getting shot, Enta somehow, because of those two things, realizes he wants his old relationship with Kazuki back. Like, how does that work? In fact, wouldn't getting shot and taking the bullet for Kazuki reinforce his feelings for Kazuki to make him realize that, yeah, I love this guy? The way I understood the relationship between Kazuki and Enta was that Kazuki knows Enta has a crush on him, but he's just turning a blind eye. Kazuki is purposefully not looking because he doesn't like Enta in that way. I think it's pretty clear that Kazuki doesn't like Enta in that specific way, and he just doesn't have the heart to knock Enta down. He doesn't have the heart to say, Enta, look, let's just stay as friends. He doesn't have the heart to do that, and he's just turning a blind eye. That's what I thought he was going through. Instead, Enta's the one who goes through all the character development. Despite stealing the dishes of hope and taking a bullet, he's the one who comes to the conclusion that he would prefer his old relationship with Kazuki rather than going for a romantic one. I didn't understand that at all. Anyways, それは昨日のことなのさ。
Wake the fuck up, Mabu. We've got some dishes to steal.
Let's talk about the two cops now. Let's talk about Reo and Manbu. Reo and Manbu, they kind of stole the spotlight from Enta in my opinion, because the first arc is Kazuki, the middle arc should be Enta, and the last arc is Toy. But instead, the middle arc was devoted to Reo and Manbu, and we find out about their dysfunctional relationship. We found out about their connection that's been severed. They're together, but connection-wise, they're not there. The whole message of Sarazanmai is to focus on connections. Compared to the other Ikuhara shows, like Yuri Kuma or Maru Penguin Drum, the message is not really clear, but I thought the message for Sarazanmai was just super obvious. The message for Sarazanmai, if you don't know, is connections are going to be tough. There's going to be problems when you talk to other people, but at the end of the day, it's totally worth it. And that's pretty much what the message of Sarazanmai is. But anyways, back on the topic of Reo and Manbu, their story's really cut and dry, and we see a lot of suffering on both parties. And that last scene where Reo mourns the death of his husband, Manbu, and what happens is Reo just starts crying, but as he starts crying, he forgets. He starts to forget who Manbu is. His connection is being erased in his brain, and he's starting to cry, and he's like, why do I feel, who's this I'm forgetting? And it's just so painful to watch that scene. I think out of all the characters in Sarazanmai, the two cops have the most fleshed out relationship out of any of the other characters, and their relationship is probably most interesting to watch. Like, Toy and Aniki are a close second, definitely a close second. With Haruka and Kazuki, they're okay. They're like third place. But definitely the top two are going to be Aniki, Toy, and Reo and Manbu. Now that I think about it, this is probably the least cryptic Ikuhara anime out there. A lot of the Ikuhara animes like Yuri Kuma or Maru Penguin Drum, they have these like complex stories. I think Maru Penguin Drum was about like late stage capitalism and how it's bad or something like that, and how it takes people and turns them into just these cogs inside the economic machine, as it were. But in Sarazanmai, the message is really clear, and there's one part in the anime that just made me laugh nonstop, and that's at the very end in episode 11 is when the otter literally says, he like looks at the camera and he says, I am a concept. So they were fighting a concept, and I believe he represented desire. I believe the otter represented having connections, but these connections are all take and no give. You're connecting with someone, but it's only in a vapid way. Like, think of someone who likes someone for just like their looks, like, or being like really shallow. I think that's what he was representing. He's just a concept, and when he looked at the camera and said, I am a concept, I feel like Ikuhara is literally just trying to spell it out for the audience. He's like, guys, I'm not trying to be cryptic. God, please, I am not trying to be cryptic in this anime. Here is the plot. This is what I mean. He is a concept. He represents desire. So this anime is probably, I'd say, one of the least cryptic Ikuhara ones. Pretty well done though overall. The message was still a little bit weird for me. I know there's some people out there who didn't get it, and I had to think about it for about like 2 seconds. The message of the show only became clear to me when in the last episode we're given this scene where they took all the other ending cards and they connected them all together to form one scene. I thought this was super well done because it like connects all the episodes together, and it shows off different future possibilities for each of the characters because they're fighting to stay connected, but the villain, the otter, is showing them all these possible bad ends. Like connecting with someone, here are all the heartaches you might have to go through. We see Enta getting turned down by Kazuki in the future again. Enta Bros feels bad. We see Kazuki hurting his leg and being unable to pursue soccer. We see Toi living in prison with no one to visit him. We see all these possible futures, and I believe the author's just trying to dissuade them from forming real connections because of all the heartache that could happen. But despite all the heartache that could be real, our main characters soldier through it. We know heartache is part of the equation. There's no such thing as a relationship without any heartache. And we're ready for it. We're willing to accept any future that is going to be thrown at us. And I thought that was like a really good message. And I really only got it towards the end when they played that specific message. The second I understood that, I finally realized what the ah symbol means. Like that symbol, the ah, that's the ah in katakana. And I believe it's supposed to represent the Wi-Fi signal that connects all the three main characters together, because in an interview with Ikuhara that I read later on, he says that Sarazanmai was inspired by how social media has connected people across the globe, and despite being so connected, people are now further off from each other than ever before. Alright, before I end it, I thought I'd kind of talk about the plot holes or about the stuff that I just don't understand about Sarazanmai. Maybe one of you guys can correct me in the comments and let me know how dumb I am. Alright, the first one is, why can Sara transform into her white Kappa form when Reo and Mambu, who are both Kappas, cannot transform into their Kappa form without the help of their lord and master Keppi? Only Keppi and Sara can transform into their white Kappa form. So does that mean Sara and Keppi are related? Does that mean only the royal family of Kappas can transform into the Kappa form? Because that would insinuate that Reo and Mambu, Keppi's vassals, raised his own flesh and blood, raised, I guess, a sibling of Keppi to become his wife or his cousin. Either way, it's effed, and I don't know what's going on there. Speaking of Reo and Mambu, if we look at the two rings at the end when they die, Reo's ring says Leo on it. Leo. His name isn't Leo, his name is Reo. If we go on the official website for Sarazanmai, his name comes up as Reo. And if you read the official manga for Sarazanmai, his name is Reo. So why does it appear as Leo on his butt ring? Like, look at this. Zoom, enhance, zoom, enhance, zoom, enhance. It clearly says Leo. Is Ikuhara playing like 4-dimensional chess? Is that perhaps not the real Reo and a Leo? Is that like a Leo bot that the otters made? Like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on there. And how come they died, but Keppi was able to bring them back to life? Is God Keppi just that strong that he can just bring people who have been taken out of the chain? Like, they don't have any connections anymore. They've been removed from the connections and he can bring them back to life? So that would mean that in episode 6, when Kazuki was like, oh, take out my Shirikodama and put it inside Haruka and save Haruka's life, that would mean that if they were able to get Keppi connected back to his darkness form, he would be able to bring Kazuki back to life? Actually, I have no idea what's going on. And another thing that came to my mind while I was editing this video was the fact that we know that people who are removed from the chain, all their interactions, all their connections are gone, right? So since Reo and Mambu killed all those quote-unquote innocent people way back in the beginning of the series by turning them into Kappa zombies, does that remove their influence on the world so they didn't turn those people into Kappa zombies? So technically those people should be alive, but their connections are gone and they've been erased from the universe. Can those people be saved? Or am I thinking about this too hard?
I'm so proud of this community.
As far as Sarazanmai goes though, I think it's definitely still one of the top 2 animes of the season. It's still really well produced. The soundtrack's great, the voice acting's great. That one scene where Reo forgets about Mambu while he's crying, that scene was so well acted and so well animated. I really enjoyed the show despite Enta just getting shafted throughout pretty much the entire thing. But the ending, it was like a forced happy ending. It leaves a lot to be desired. It kind of leaves it open to interpretation to what the future can hold, because they showed a lot of the bad parts that could happen and they didn't show any of the good things that could happen. The show really could have done with a bigger budget. I think the problem with Sarazanmai is the fact that they had too small of a budget. If you think about it, I think they could have used an extra 6 episodes. They could have used an extra 6 episodes to flesh out the characters, to really flesh out Enta, to be more specific, and then maybe not reuse the same animation over and over and over again. Like the animation of stealing the Shirikodama, that was reused over and over and over and over again. Same with the otter transformation animation, it was used over and over and over again. I mean, it was well done. Like, Like, it was well animated, but seeing it, did we need to see it 9 times in a row? Did we need to see it in virtually every single episode? I think if you marathoned it, it would come off even worse. If you marathon all of Sarazanmai and then you see that same animation part play out over and over and over again, it gets super repetitive. Anyways, if you made this far in the video, please like and subscribe to show support for Enta Bros. Enta Bros, we need to rise up, or at least we rose up and we failed. And let me know in the comments what you think of Sarazanmai. Do you think it's top 2 this season? I definitely think it's top 2 this season. In fact, it could actually be the best anime this season. It definitely wasn't perfect. There were some mistakes in it, but overall, it was extremely enjoyable and I really enjoyed my ride. Thank you, Ikuhara, for making this anime. Anyways, I gotta go now. Stand by me or never.